My learned brothers of the Seraph, senior members of the bar, our young members and fellow colleagues, I greet you. The ban on campaign for the 2020 Nigerian Bar Association elections has just been lifted. My name is Dele Adesina, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, a past General Secretary of Nigerian Bar Association, life member of the Distinguished Body of Benchers, and life member of the National Executive Committee of Nigerian Bar Association. Today, the contemporary problems confronting the profession as a whole and its two major departments, the judiciary and the bar, are so monumental that we cannot continue to do business as usual, as if nothing is happening. Today, the legal profession is endangered, facing serious crises both within and without. Some of these crises include, but are not limited to, negative perception of the profession by members of the public, the fallacy of generalization that all lawyers are crooks, and that our judiciary is irredeemably corrupt. Others are endemic delay and congestion in our court, which for me are products of the systemic and attitudinal challenges in our administration of justice. The challenge to the rule of law and due process in our nation, the encouragement of legal practice by non-lawyers, police brutalization of young members of the bar, the hopelessness of our young members in the future of the profession due to lack of strategic planning to create opportunities by the association, all of which have resulted in the economic hardship of our members, both young and old. Our young lawyers today are victims of a situation that they did not create or anticipate. I say with all sense of responsibility that there is no problem without a solution. Neither is there any question without an answer. If you cannot add value, you have no business getting involved. I have decided to run for the office of the President of Nigerian Bar Association because of the tremendous value I believe I have the capacity to add to change the current trajectory of the bar. In this connection, our goals and objectives will be to, 1, strengthen the relevance of the NBA to its members, both seniors and juniors, particularly the young generation of lawyers who are the future leaders of the profession. We will take calculated and proactive steps to change the present negative perception about the legal profession by repackaging its profile and restoring its glory and honor. We will defend, preserve, and promote the independence of the legal profession in particular, and the independence of lawyers and judges in the practice of their profession. We will strategically and vigorously pursue the defense, promotion, protection, and advancement of the rule of law, which is a sine qua non for sustainable constitutional democracy. The Nigerian Bar Association under my leadership will drive visible, correctional, and strategic reforms that will promote trust, assurances, and confidence in our justice system, thereby attracting both local and international investors to our economy. In achieving these objectives, we shall ensure that as a deliberate policy of corporate governance, the Nigerian Bar Association under my leadership shall be run on the basis of full democracy, consultation, openness, accountability, and transparency. The first is that of corporate governance. I'm a team player of immense proportion, with absolute belief in the philosophy that no 4-man can equal 4 men. Therefore, as president of Nigerian Bar Association, I shall be a team leader. As a deliberate policy of corporate governance, my administration shall be based on full democracy, consultation, openness, and transparency. The ongoing accountability, financial discipline, and professionalization of the National Secretariat shall be sustained with vigor. The branches shall be the main focus of the development of the association. In this connection, our leadership shall invest in building the capacity of the branches. Only registered and active members of branches will be recognized as members of Nigerian Bar Association, as presently defined in the Constitution and accorded recognition, support, and patronage by the national leadership. The second strategic program is general welfare. The economic situation and security challenges have increased the lawyers' anxiety for safety, for progress, and development. All these seem to have reduced lifespan in general and the risk of premature death in particular. I have been totally destabilized in recent times by hearing the spate of deaths of lawyers that we have recorded within the last couple of months. The primary objective of my welfare policies and programs shall be first, the promotion of the welfare, security, and economic advancement of members of the legal profession. And secondly, the development, delivery, and sustenance of quality services to members in order to maintain improved living conditions and professionalism. To this end, the association under my leadership shall pursue the following welfare agenda. 1, we will restrict the range of documentations that can be undertaken by non-legal practitioners in this country. We will explore legal practice opportunities in ECOWAS region in the light of the fact that the revised treaty of the Economic Community of West African States and several multilateral agreements provide for free movement of goods and services within the sub-region. Particularly, our young lawyers will be driven to take advantage of these policies. The provision of comprehensive group life insurance policy for Nigerian lawyers, old or young, junior or senior, shall attract our priority attention. The executive shall liaise with the pension service providers and facilitators in Nigeria with a view to put in place a pension scheme arrangement for private legal practitioners for the benefit of members and their defendants. Number 3, particularly, young lawyers and junior members of the bar, we are going to take proactive steps that will rejuvenate their hope, their trust, and their confidence in the profession that they have chosen for themselves. In this connection, we will undertake innovative programs that will empower the young and junior lawyers for a sustainable and successful future. To this end, our leadership will undertake the following programs. 1, establishment of a professional practice support trust fund. In a determined effort to create opportunities for junior lawyers to set up own practice, particularly on basis of partnerships, leading to specialization, junior lawyers between the age of 1 and 7 post-call shall be entitled to draw funds from the PPSF, subject to repayment within 5 years. Detailed terms and conditions shall be submitted to the National Executive Committee for approval. Number 2, we will also establish Nigerian Bar Association Equipment Leasing Scheme. The administration will establish and operate an equipment leasing scheme that will work through the branches to assist in financing procurement of office equipment for members between the same age bracket. And of course, of a very important concern and program of action will be what I call pragmatic and functional policy of mentorship through a national strategic mentorship scheme that the administration will put in place. The same shall be replicated at all the branches of the association. We will also embark on strategic engagement with the Nigerian police with a view to stop police brutalization and other forms of abuses and misuse of power on the part of the Nigerian police force. Number 4, globalization of legal practice. lawyers with disabilities, which is item number 5, and of course, number 6, the judiciary and promotion of efficient justice delivery. The judiciary occupies a strategic position in the life of a nation. First, with democracy as an issue of life and death throughout the world today, it is the only organ that can regulate and stabilize democracy. Second, it is the preeminent dispute resolution mechanism that is constitutionally recognized and guaranteed. Thirdly, the judiciary is the third arm of government. Despite the strategic position of the judiciary, unfortunately, it has remained the most criticized, the most harassed, the most intimidated, and the most underfunded, and yet it is the most significant arm of government. The objective of our policy, by the grace of God, when I get there, shall be one, to fight delay and congestion in the judicial process, to mount sustained campaign against judicial corruption, while at the same time strive to reverse the perception of Nigeria's judiciary as a corrupt judiciary, in order to rekindle public confidence and trust in the judicial system in particular and in the legal profession in general. We will also focus attention on the possible digitalization of our judicial process. Now, by the grace of God, within 60 days in office, the Nigerian Bar Association under my leadership shall organize a broad-based justice summit of all stakeholders in the justice sector to critically appraise the state of administration of justice in Nigeria and constructively recommend ways and means for a better, functional, assuring, speedy, satisfactory, and impactful administration of justice. Next is the rule of law. Where the rule of law operates, everybody is under the law. Our constitutional jurisprudence recognizes this fact. The state is subject to the law. The government is expected to respect the right of individuals and provide effective means of enforcing this right. The judges are expected to be guided by the rule of law, protect and resist any encroachment by the government or political parties on their independence as judges. And of course, the lawyers are also under a duty to preserve the independence of their profession, assert the rights of the individual, and insist that every accused is accorded fair trial. The Nigerian Bar Association under our leadership shall be bold and courageous. The bar shall commend when necessary and condemn when circumstances call for condemnation. The Nigerian Bar Association shall vigorously and demonstrably defend the independence of the judiciary, the independence of lawyers and judges, the oppressed, the abused, the cheated, the weak, and the poor in the society. That is the primary and corporate responsibility of a varied and dynamic bar association. The NBA under my leadership shall wage sustained war against impunity, arbitrariness, high-handedness, misgovernance, misuse, and abuse of power, and injustice in all ramifications. The leadership shall speak truth to power at all levels of governance. The standard of International Commission of Jurists stated above and the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1990 as amended shall be the watchword of our association. Number 8, professional discipline and code of conduct. I recognize that ethical lawyers are not born, they are made. The legal profession has an established standard of professional conduct and responsibility over the years, and every attempt to stain this high professional standard that we met in the profession ought to be resisted with full force. A legal practitioner's practical observance of and conformity with these established standards shall be non-negotiable under that leadership. In order to restore the integrity of the profession and the dignity of the bar in particular, and the confidence of the public towards the legal profession, the NBA, under my leadership, shall give priority attention to enforcement of the Code of Conduct and professional ethics. To this end, the leadership shall ensure that legal practitioners abide by the rules of professional ethics by becoming standard bearers of what is good, what is noble, what is honorable, and what is excellent. Strategic attention shall be focused on the duty of counsel to their clients, including in particular the duty to advise clients against filing of hopeless cases and abuses of court process. Strategic attention shall also be focused on the duty of counsel to court as ministers in the temple of justice. The rules of professional conduct require the legal practitioners not only to display a respectful attitude towards the court, but also to exhibit a high level of decorum, candor, and fairness to his professional colleagues. Consequently, the NBA shall pay attention to decent advocacy by discouraging the use of debasing, scathing, and foul languages against opposing counsel and parties in the court. The leadership shall focus attention on fast-tracking the process of professional discipline by the Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee and take other steps to ensure prompt and effective determination of allegations of infraction on the part of any legal practitioner. Item 9, legal education and reforming the mandatory continuing legal education. We cannot keep complaining of falling standard in our profession and do nothing about it. We must embark on concrete steps to arrest falling standard in our profession. The first step towards success in life is when you refuse to be a captive from the environment in which you live. Of course, to be a captive is to do nothing about a situation and resign oneself to fate, even when things seem to be going wrong. The last time, to the best of my knowledge, the last time Nigerian Bar Association had a real intervention in legal education in Nigeria was when I was the General Secretary of the Bar. At that time, the NBA donated 1 million naira to each of the 4 campuses of the Nigerian Law School, which was meant to draw attention to the poor funding of the Nigerian Law School. We must go further than this or any other previous effort. I must not also forget to mention that as an attempt to also address the issue of falling standard, the Body of Senior Advocates of Nigeria has put in place a scholarship scheme to promote legal excellence and character in the universities as well as the Nigerian Law School. In order to raise the status of Nigerian Bar Association, like its counterparts in other jurisdictions, notably the American Bar Association, it will require a bar that shows great concern for the work and challenges of the law faculties in our universities and also at the Nigerian Law School. While MBA may not have accreditation powers over the law faculties, MBA must have the power to decide who becomes a member of the association. So we're going to be setting up also a legal education summit to review our legal education in Nigeria, particularly the course content in the universities. There has to be a deliberate transit between the existing content code to clinical content of legal education in Nigeria. Item number 10. It is no longer news in Nigeria that corruption is the greatest single impediment to Nigeria's national aspiration. As a result of corruption, Nigeria has remained at the level of potential, a potentially great nation, or our status as the giant of Africa. Nigeria must be assisted and supported by the NBA and a strong bar to help transit from the level of potential to the level of reality. It is this cankerworm called corruption that has earned this country, our great country, the appellation of a rich country with a poor people. The NBA, under my leadership, will play a very supportive and collaborative role with the authorities of the state to fight corruption within the context of the rule of law and due process. Persuaded that targeting the symptoms will not solve the problem, NBA will direct its efforts towards a strategic study of identifying the causes of corruption in Nigeria and advising authorities accordingly. Lastly, strategic collaboration between the NBA leadership, the sections, the forums, and other related and associated bodies. The leadership of Nigerian Bar Association shall ensure strategic collaboration between these bodies that I've mentioned in order to move cohesively and tackle all the challenges I've mentioned and prosecute. We will work in close collaboration with these organizations, including but not limited to the International Federation of Women Lawyers, the NBA Women's Forum, the Muslim Lawyers Association of Nigeria, the Christian Lawyers Association of Nigeria, the Law Officers Association of Nigeria, the Law Teachers Association of Nigeria. Of course, we will also work very closely with the Association of Lawyers with Disabilities in Nigeria. This is with a move to move together with one unity of purpose to achieving these onerous responsibilities that we will set for ourselves for the next 2 years. My learned brothers of the silk, my dear colleagues, I was trained in the best legal tradition some 38 years ago. Consequently, I believe in the supremacy of the law. I believe in the indispensable role of law and the legal profession make NBA the custodian of law, justice, and an orderly society. As the conscience of the nation, our role is sacred and incomparable. This role is one that must be upheld, and I am prepared to so uphold it at all times. I recognize that leadership is not about wielding authority, but about service to humanity, and it is about empowering the people. Permit me to say that I have the refinement of character and learning, the capacity, the competence, the character and the conviction of courage with cognate experience to lead our esteemed association at this very critical time. I've been closely connected with the activities of our association for about 30 years now, and I've served in different capacities, including several specialized committees of the association. I've been the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association in Ikeja, one of the most dynamic associations in the association, the general secretary of our association at the national level, the membership of the National Executive Committee of the association since 1991, and today, by grace of service, I'm a life member of the National Executive Committee of the NBA, and also a life member of the distinguished body of benchers, the highest regulatory body of this profession. The depth of a man's preparation determines his height of success. I have prepared well for this task. Only prepared leaders make a success of leadership. I am the best candidate for this office at this time. It is in our enlightened collective interest that our members accept responsibility to vote rightly, and you'll be voting rightly when you vote for me. The best is the highest degree of good. May I repeat? I am the best candidate for this election. I believe you want a better tomorrow for our association and our profession. I urge you all to do something about it today by voting for me. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. Vote for me as your president, and I shall take our association and our beloved profession to greater heights. That is my covenant with you, individually as a lawyer and collectively as members of the Nigerian Bar Association. I thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you.